Well, welcome everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nick Martinez. I live out in Minnesota. Been part of this conversation, drinking ketones, sharing ketones now for the last almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years like August 31st. So it's coming up fast. One of the things that I've learned over the last 5 years is that the key to success in this business is just consistent daily action. It's not getting super fancy. It's not finding some secret to success. It's literally just doing the little things that we're going to do today on a consistent basis in order to keep moving your business forward. So today I have a super awesome promoter to kind of help me through giving us activity and taking action together. She's amazing. You're going to get to hear from her in a second. But one of the things I'm most excited about with Stephanie, who you hear from, is just her journey, her story. And I'll let her share a little bit of you, but I'll tell my side. A year ago, we had a conversation, Stephanie and I, about where her business was at and where she wanted to go, and she wasn't where she wanted to be. I've been part of the company for two and a half years and just was kind of stagnant, was kind of flat. Personal activity wasn't where she wanted it to be. Business had kind of fallen off a little bit. And we just had a conversation about the basics, about really what we're going to do today, about taking action on a daily basis, about focusing on creating value on social media, focusing on posting and growing and engaging. And then what's really neat is Stephanie actually listened, and then she took it all to heart. She just did it consistently, put her head down, went to work. We had a similar conversation in December, and since the beginning of January, Stephanie's been always at the top of our leaderboard with new customers, new promoters. And what's neat is she's not just signing people up, she's grown a team. She's got a very, very, very vibrant group of people who are all new within the last 90 days and just killing it. So Stephanie, excited to have you on. Would love for you in 60 seconds or less, just say, hey, introduce yourself and let people know who you are.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Like, I just realized I have these windows back here. Hopefully everybody can see me okay. I just had to borrow my husband's thing. So yeah, I'm Stephanie I actually live on the Oregon coast now. I am from Idaho. We moved here about 2.5 years ago. So I've been drinking ketones about 3.5, almost 4 years. I can't believe that. I am married. I have 2 wonderful kids. And yeah, so before drinking ketones, like, I had no idea what it was. And I was secretly praying for something because I was, just exhausted and just wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And I just needed something to want to have motivation. And I overheard, eavesdropped someone else, actually Sarah Ramos. I didn't know her. She was talking to someone else about all these benefits with the drink. And I chased her down and said, I need that, whatever it is. I need that. I don't care. I don't have to do research. I don't want to do research. I just want to drink what you're telling me about. So I started drinking it and just come alive. And yeah, it's just completely changed our life. And I knew that I had to share it with other people because of how amazing I felt. I had no clue what I was doing. My husband's like, how are these checks coming? Where are these checks coming from? I'm like, I have no idea because I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just being excited, sharing. And yeah, people are like, what? Why are you so happy? Why are you losing weight? Why are you this or that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just drink this stuff and someone else can tell you about it. And so that's just how simple it is. And yeah, I have had ups and downs just like we all do, but I love our community. I love our product. And I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I just keep plugging in. And I had just plugged in different places and I was connected to Nick, and I'm like, I have to follow him because he's consistent. He is very amazing too. He's a green and he knows that I'm not a green. And so I just go to him and say, hey, tell me what to do. And so I do it. And yeah, it's changed our life, like mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And that's probably more than 90 seconds, but it's amazing.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, let's get started. In the chat, if you guys want, just tell us where you're from and how long you've been drinking ketones, just so I can get an idea of who's on and where y'all live. I see a ton of familiar faces. I also see a ton of brand new faces that I don't recognize. So let's get started though, Stephanie. So this again is action hour. This is a working hour. It's not just us talking at you. It's you hopefully picking up your phone if you're not driving, and getting to work. So get us started, Stephanie. What's the first thing that we're going to do today?
So let me pull up this list here. Sorry. So we're going to warm up our news feed. I like doing that. First of all, I have to tell you guys, strawberry peach and the lemon Mitoplex are absolutely amazing. Strawberry. So I love mixing them. So warming up your news feed basically means I go to like the different people on my posts. I don't just scroll because you can kind of get overwhelmed with that and sucked in. Just go to some of your friends, people's posts that pop up that are positive, your friends, and go comment on their post, and don't just give a thumbs up. Don't just say, hey, like genuinely care about what their posts are. Like I love posting about our pugs. So go find some, like, oh my gosh, I always just say, hey, oh my gosh, that's a cute dog. I love pugs. What kind of dog is it? So we're going to go warm up our news feed for, I don't know how long, 5 minutes. Okay. So let's go comment on some of our friends' posts for 5 minutes.
Awesome. This is the most fun part because this is what you like to do anyways, is just scroll and look at things. During this time though, like be intentional about not just consuming content, but adding value. So consuming content's where you scroll and you click on all the links and you watch all the stupid videos. Adding value is where you see one of your friends and you want to brighten their day and say something nice. You looking for people that are actually posting about their life and you're engaging with it. Or if they do a poll or they have something on there, you comment and you engage. How do you pick who you comment on? Do you scroll or do you go to people you haven't seen in a while? Stephanie, how would you answer that?
Sometimes I scroll a little bit, but if I start seeing negative stuff, I just stop. And so sometimes I'll just go to some of my friends that I know that are positive and look at their posts and comment on those, because if you do that, then more of those are going to come into your news feed.
Awesome. Good question, Liz. Liz needs a system. I mean, you can systematize part of it by like maybe setting a timer and when you're not on this action hour doing 5 minutes of just scrolling, and then you could take 5 minutes and you could go to your letters in each, if you have Monday through Saturday or Sunday of doing this, you have 7 days, divide the alphabet by 7 letters and just kind of scroll and see who catches your mind, click on them, see if they've posted recently, and then go comment on it. If you can just get consistent with that, like it will make all the difference. Any other questions? Comment in the chat or come off mute. This is definitely meant to be interactive. Pick on non-prove it people. Yes, I like that, Sarah. Pick a group of people to follow up with.
Hey, Nick.
Yes.
When I go to my friends list and I just play Russian roulette, I just kind of spin it, and then whoever I tap on, that's who I hook up with.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let's do 1 more minute of this, and then we'll move on to the next thing.
Hey, Nick, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Wendy, hi. I've started trying to do the watch parties on Wednesdays when Dr. Andy or Dr. Heather comes on. And so I just kind of write down the people's names that pop on the watch party. And then I'm thinking like reach back to them just to comment on their posts because something made them click on the watch party. Do you ever do watch parties, or do you utilize that, or do you know if that's a good idea?
I'd say that's a great idea. I don't personally do it. However, if they've engaged with the watch party and they're watching something, I mean, I'd follow up with them the next day. Oh my gosh, I saw you got to hop on the watch party. That's so awesome. Did you get a chance to hear a few words from Dr. Heather? What caught your attention the most? I love this stuff.
Okay, cool.
I do love watch parties. They do have a lot of interaction for me, especially the doctor lives. Like I just did Dr. Andy's today. It does get a lot of people that are following you and they'll answer questions or whatever. And you can just follow up them. Like Nick said, I utilize those a lot on Wednesdays. So
yeah, I had 8, 9, 10, like 15 people today that popped in and out. And so I don't know, I'm going to start doing that every week too.
I'd say that's a great prospecting list. Stephanie, can you tell us how you set that up? What do you do to actually do a watch party?
So you just go to the video that's playing and then you click share, and it will give you the option to either share people, invite people, or you can also start watch party. And then I would just put a tagline like Q&A of our amazing Dr. Andy talking about our ketone drink or something like that, just something catchy. And then just start it.
That's awesome. I think it's value. If somebody is already drinking ketones, they're going to get value out of it. If they're not already drinking ketones, they're going to learn. They're going to hear all these questions. They're going to be like, oh, this is legit. It's a doctor. So it's a good connect. It's a good validation piece. That's great. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Stephanie, what is next?
Okay, so birthdays. I love doing birthdays. I do those every single morning. And so birthdays will pop up in your notifications. If they don't, I believe you can go to like your events and pull up birthdays, or you can just search in your search bar birthdays. I like to comment on their wall, something like, hey, happy birthday, I hope you have an amazing day, something like that. Then I also private message them both, so they have it that way. Sometimes I'll do a voice messenger, sometimes I'll do a video. But most of the time when I do the voice messenger or in Messenger, I'm like, I get people who are like, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. That's so awesome. Then I always just follow up with any fun plans, anything like that. And then we just kind of have a conversation. I've had people with the birthdays end up being ones that I've shared ketones with, and they were thinking about it and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been following you. I've been meaning to get back to you on the ketones. So that's just another way to do that too. So birthdays are always huge to do that with.
All right, let's spend 2 minutes doing birthdays.
So I have a question about that. I've been told that if you comment on people's birthdays, that it keeps them active to your page. Sometimes I guess when you have so many friends, not everyone can see everything that's being posted all the time. So I've been told that if you comment on people's birthdays, it keeps them active to be able to see what's on your page. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's another thing. By doing it in the morning, if you're wanting to warm up your news feed, go do your birthdays, and it will, like today I had 16. So you just go do that, and all those people, it will show. I mean, instead of just saying happy birthday, if you do something longer, it does put it in there. And also when you talk to them in Messenger and interact with them in Messenger, it also puts them in your news feed too.
Perfect, because I've been doing that, and also I made all of my posts public so that I would hopefully reach more people. I'm not sure if that's working, but I am doing everything that everyone's telling me to do.
Perfect. That's awesome. again, this isn't an overnight thing, right? This is a daily consistent action thing. So with any of the activity you're doing today, you want to look forward about 6 months in order to see the results from it. So Stephanie, how many months of doing this consistently did it take you to have 30 new customers in a month?
I've been pretty consistent. Well, especially this last year that since you and I talked, I mean, I'm consistent every single day. Like I've learned from you to just fall in love with doing the activity and sharing and never be attached to the outcome. So I just kind of lose track of how the time. I just am in the habit of doing that every single day. So it's been a while.
So I would say I've never had you on my leaderboard as like number one or up there. And over the last 4 months you have been. So for the previous year, you were doing this, what we're talking about. And then a year later you were seeing stuff. So
yeah. Yep.
Unfortunately, this isn't a grow a massive network that I'll know, like, and trust you overnight system. This is a, hey, put the work in, be consistent at it, and start to grow this group of people that are like following you and want to know what you're doing over time. It doesn't have to take 12 months. You'll start to see some results after the first month, after the second month, and that will create this snowball. The more consistent you are, the larger that snowball becomes. That's kind of the magic there. Patience continually, Cindy Williams. I like that. All right, Stephanie, time's up for birthdays. What is next?
Okay, so this is one, add new contacts. This is another one. Like all these, literally, if you listen and follow Nick Martinez, if I would have from the beginning, like, so growing your network, adding contacts every single day. You can start out with, 1 or 2. He's always said about 3 to 5. And so I followed that. You add contacts. You don't just go spam people. So I've also added contacts, like I get in groups and I, build a relationship with people. If we start interacting, then I'll friend them. And if I friend them, I don't just go friend them and spam them. So just go and, build relationships with people. A lot of times I'll go to friends of friends. If we have mutual friends of, 3, 4, 5 or more, then I'll friend them. And I've never had anybody maybe 1 or 2, they're like, why did you friend me? And then I'm just like, hey, I just love meeting new people, making new friends. I understand if you, don't want to accept it. And they're like, oh no, I just want to make sure that you're not weird. So just adding at least, 3 to 5 new contacts every single day, build your network. And I started with like 200 and some, and now I'm at 5,000. So.
All right, so we're going to take 2 more minutes and just focus on finding 3 to 5 new friends to add. This is one of those things that if you just do it and you're consistent with it, it grows your network. My main metric on our Keto Dad page in any social media is how do I make sure that my audience or the people that I'm connected with, my network, my friends, are growing every day. Because if I always have new people that I'm talking to, my goal isn't to grow so I can just go sell them ketones. My goal is to grow a larger group of people who I'm adding value to on a daily basis. I'm building a relationship with. Over time, the ones that are looking for me are going to raise their hand and say, hey, I want that. The ones that are looking for ketones are going to raise their hand. But if I don't have new people that are consistently following, consistently seeing what you post, you're not going to be able to sort and sift through that group. So the biggest difference here is I'm not hunting, I'm farming, right? I'm cultivating land, I'm watering it, I'm fertilizing it, I'm giving it sunshine. And then as that happens, some of those little seeds start to sprout, and those are the people that become customers and promoters. Hunting is the opposite. Hunting is the mentality of, hey, I'm going to add you so that I can sell you ketones. Oh, you didn't buy ketones from me? I don't like you. That's not the attitude that will create an abundance mentality and a viral following that you have. So there's so many different places that you can add friends from. Friends of Friends is my favorite place just to initially direct you. If you've been doing this longer than, let's say, 6 months, you might start adding yourself to groups and just enjoying the aspect of meeting people in those groups. The sky's the limit. Like there's, I don't know, 3 billion people on Facebook now worldwide, probably 200+ million people in the United States. It's it is a working platform. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that. All right, keep going. One more minute on this. It's payday today, huh? From July 15th, always a good day. All right, Stephanie, what is next?
Okay, so we're gonna add to stories. Like when you guys started talking to us about this, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year ago, they're like, make sure you do your stories. I had no idea. Like, I'm very not tech savvy, and I'm learning, and I'm still learning. If I can do it, you can do it. So stories, if you haven't done that, stories are very powerful. Like, I've really worked with Nick and Christine on this. Stories basically are sharing your day. Like, I'll get on there and I'll go for a walk on the beach and drink my ketones. I'll be taking a picture saying, hey friends, happy Tuesday, with a smile on my drink and walking on the beach. And then next I'll take a picture of, with my pug and we're having our little chat. I'll post something there. This is my lunch. So basically stories are telling your story of the day, and your posts are more. So utilizing stories is huge. And like Christina said, if you can do a story, you don't have to, but if you can do a story every 2 hours or so on there, it posts it, it puts it to the front of the line so it doesn't get lost in all the stories. It will just constantly put it there. And I tell you that I'm addicted to it. Sometimes she's like, okay, hold up, you're like, you have way too many dots on there. I'm like, okay. I always tell her, can you like review my stuff every now and then? So stories are huge. Do you guys all know how to do stories? Do you have questions on how to do them? Okay, so if you have questions on how to do them or what to do, just let us know and we can show you how to get on stories. So just post about what you're doing. You can even take a picture of this Zoom and saying, hey, I love connecting with our community. I love working from home, whatever, and then post it on your stories. That's really huge too.
Stephanie, I have a question for you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to know, like, when you said you have too many dots on there, those are the extra pages, right? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Don't be afraid to add 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, many pictures.
You probably have 10. But here's the thing is, don't add too many at one time. I mean, you can add quite a few, but as people add stories, yours goes to the back of the line. So every 2 hours, if you do another one, then it goes to the front of the line. So it just keeps popping in front of people's faces just to keep it refreshed. So you can do 1, 2, 3. Like I said, sometimes I get out of hand and do like 10. And
do you always put some sort of like comment on there or whatever?
Sometimes, but I've learned from Ashley Cooper. I mean, you jump on these, she says that Facebook puts out, the different things, the different emojis, the different fonts and all that kind of stuff. I'm still learning how to use those because they want you to use them. So use as many as you want, like the arrows and the faces and all of that kind of stuff. I don't know what it does. I think that it helps your algorithm better.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Think of stories as they last 24 hours. So if you post 5 right now, they'll all be gone at 3:25 tomorrow. If you post 3, like 1 or 2 right now, and then in 3 or 4 hours, you post 1 or 2 in the morning. So like, think of it as a snapshot of your life. If you're new to it and you can just get up 1 a day, you're winning. If you're saying, hey, I got that 1 a day down, let's go for 3 a day. If you're ready to take it to the next level, 5 a day. You don't need to do more than 10, but somewhere around 5 is probably the sweet spot, 5 to 10. There's people that I love following their stories just because it's fun to watch, right? So if you're always selling ketones on your stories, people probably aren't excited to watch your stories. They might be like the before and after pictures, but tell them what you're doing, how how your day is going. Like, I was playing Candyland with the 6-year-old this morning. I posted about it. I put a poll. How many of you had this game when you were a kid? It's nothing exciting, nothing earth-shattering. However, it gives them a glimpse of my morning, which is games with a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and polls, like you were talking about, are huge because people like to give their opinion. Like I did one, I was going shopping for shoes. I just posted 2 different types of shoes and says, which one do you choose, blue or red? And like it blew up. I mean, it was a post, but it also, people love to give their opinion. And then it also creates more activity when you do a poll.
All right, so take another 30 seconds to at least get one story tile up. And we'll move on to the next thing. All right, let's go to the next one, Stephanie.
Okay, so we're gonna make a post. So another one you can do, most people I find that are watching stories, but you still do have people that make a post. So just making a post of like I do, like I say I do on the beach, I'll go for my walk saying, hey, fresh air, getting fresh air, sunshine, movement, and my magic drink. How do you start your day? A lot of times when you make a post asking a question. So right now you can also take a picture of your Zoom screen and just say, hey, I love connecting with our community. It's so uplifting, so fun. You know, anything like that, just go and make a post about your day. I mean, we do have, when you're making a post about ketones, you don't want to do any salesy posts or anything like that. So you can just make one with your ketone shaker as well, how you're feeling, your benefits and stuff like that. So we're all going to just go on and make a post.
Terry, I just saw your question, prove it post or personal post. It all depends on what you posted about this morning or yesterday. We always want to have 3 to 4 to 5 personal posts for every prove it post. So if you're going to talk about ketones, just look back. Have you talked about ketones in the last 4 posts? If you have, let's talk about something in life. If you're posting twice a day, that gives you 14 posts a week. That means you could probably talk about ketones 3 times a week. If you're posting 3 times a day, that means you could probably talk about ketones 4 times a week. But if you're only posting once a day, it's probably going to be good to have 1 or 2. Just kind of keep that in mind because it really helps you to make sure that you're continuing to show people your life, not just sell this stuff. I've been working with a lot of people, helping them put up their prove it posts and ketone posts. And a lot of times if you mix it in with your day and you're not just like, here's a picture of the box and this is why you should buy ketones. It's more like, OMG, so grateful for this drink. And then whatever your story is. You know, just 2 months ago without this, I was gaining weight fast. I was feeling awful. And when I came home from work, I'd crash on the couch. Today, I actually went for a bike ride with the kids. and cleaned my house all after I got home from work and made dinner. OMG, love this stuff. I just had a brand new promoter get started. She is out of ketones between her trial, like she had a 10-day trial, and then she got her promoter pack, and she's like literally waiting. She'll have 3 days where she doesn't have it. I'm like, awesome. And she was frustrated, upset. I'm like, that's a perfect post. Talk about how your 10 days on this drink, had no idea I'd be so upset when I ran out. Haven't felt this great in ages. Thank goodness I found this stuff. Hurry the heck up, UPS. You guarantee that creates curiosity, right? That creates intrigue. People are going to be asking, what are you doing? What do you have? I am currently posting myself about today I've been looking for boats on Facebook Marketplace, just a little boat, and asking people about boats and making a comment about it, just because that's something that's real to me right now. So it's whatever you're doing, whoever you are, share that. I mean, I could just by looking at your faces and your backgrounds of where you're at, I could come up with a Facebook post for every one of you. I mean, I don't know where Cheyenne is, but that looks interesting. Are you in a garage?
I'm working today.
Working where?
I am out at the country cemetery.
I mean, all sorts of Facebook posts just came to mind. I don't know what you do there, but that's interesting. Is it hot in that? Are you in a shed or is it air conditioned?
It's a small little shop. It's insulated and we have one working fan.
Hey, there you go. So thankful for my fan today. Very fun, very fun. All right, let's do another minute, get a post up, and then we'll move on to our last thing. All right, Stephanie, you want to take us to our last thing?
Yes, so follow up and then also inviting to our Maximize Your Ketone Zoom. I'll have to say that when they say that fortune's in the follow-up, so to speak, that's so true. Follow-up is huge with any of your 5-day people, anybody that's on the fence, especially when you have like new promos coming out. I don't know if all of you've seen the 40% off promo went back to 3 different flavors today. That's huge. We just went and followed up with like all of our people that we've been in group chats with our team, and just saying, hey, I don't know if you've seen this. So following up with all of them. And I also follow up with our 5-day, 5 and 10 days. I don't do a lot of 10 days right now because people would decide to do a 5-day or just jump on and do the 10-day challenge. So following up with them is huge on what they're loving about it. And if, also letting them know find out what their favorite flavor is, and then getting them onto a 10-day challenge or a 3-box promo.
Awesome. I love the Maximize Your Ketone Zoom. I love that we do this on the same day as it, because it gives us a reason to invite to it. If you've enrolled a new promoter in the last 7 days, invite them to Maximize Your Ketones. If you've enrolled a new customer in the last 14 days, invite them to the Maximize Your Ketone Zoom. If you've sold a 5 or a 10 serving trial pack in the like this month, invite them to this call. If you had somebody that just reached out to you today and they're interested and they're like on the fence, invite them to this call. What's cool is every call is a little bit different. This is not a guest call per se. We're not going to be explaining ketones. However, sometimes people don't need to be sold or explained. Sometimes when they just hear, okay, this is how you're going to drink it. They're watching this. That's designed for people that have already said yes. Everybody on the Zoom is already bought in. If you had a guest on there, guess what they're going to think? Well, shoot, everybody's drinking this. I guess I better try it. Best kind of follow-up tool for somebody that's on the fence ever. And the more personal you can make your invitation, the more people that will show up. Like we had 44 people, we had 54 people a minute ago on this Zoom. The Maximize Your Ketone Zoom should be like 100+, but it's probably one of our least attended ones. So we enrolled as a community, I don't know, close to 4,000 new customers last month. Why aren't all of these customers getting the best experience? We want them all to get the best experience possible. We want them all to maximize their ketones. We want them all to understand our other products and to know how they can get them for free. So let's take just a minute and shoot messages to anybody that you have that you think would benefit from maximizing their ketones. Awesome. Stephanie, any last thoughts?
Just be consistent. Like Nick said, consistency is key. And I found that when you are consistent, I mean, truly consistent every single day and you get in the habit of it, like things completely change. So just be excited, just be consistent and never give up, never fall in love with, fall in love with sharing and planting seeds and never be attached to the outcome. Just be consistent. And as Mitch says, it's all unfolding perfectly. Just keep going and never give up.
I love it. So I saw the question from Terry, where's the link? If you look in your pulse, Terry, you'll see the pulse from Maddie today. Maddie V is part of all of our support team. He pulses the details for our calls every day. If you haven't figured it out yet, in the Better Starts Here 2020 group, there's a calendar for the month of June where all of these calls are listed. So there's no excuse to say, I don't know when any of these calls are. I don't understand. It's hard to keep track of. Print out the calendar, put it on your desk, and guess what? You'll have it right in front of you. And by the time you get through a couple weeks, you'll be like, oh, this is easy. This is here for a reason. I understand. This is all designed to create a system around you for success. These calls are designed to support your business, your new promoters, your customers, and you to grow into what you want to create here. So it's in the pulse if you need the details, and send it on out. And awesome. If you guys have any other questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Stephanie, thanks so much for being on with us today. Appreciate you, and good to see all of your smiling faces. We'll talk to you again hopefully tonight. We'll talk to you later. Bye.